that we talked about, and you also have some kind of idea of metaphysics, epistemology, axiology by now. So we will trace this path. So when I talk about this one, it means that we will be talking in this fashion. So idealism will question your metaphysical question in a way. It's also called ontology, right? Okay, my T is like this. So this one is ontology, metaphysics. So idealism is actually responding to metaphysical question: reality spiritual or mental and unchanged? I might have discussed this, but it's good time to have a refreshed memory. Epistemology is knowing by recalling the latent ideas. अच्छा, उर्दू में थोड़ा बात करता हूँ ताकि कुछ जो मोस्टली मेरे स्टूडेंट हैं जो कि उर्दू जानते हैं वो समझ लें कि रियलिटी जो है, जो हकीकत है, उसको स्पिरिचुअली, उसको रूहानी तौर पे जानना या मेंटली उसको जानना, और वो ये जानना कि वो कभी चेंज नहीं होती. That is important. So unchangeability of reality is idealism, right? So this is how it connects with this one. Now epistemology, जिस तरह हमने बात की थी कि वो जानना कि हमें क्या कुछ आता है, वो कैसे जानते हैं, तो इस चीज का इल्म आइडियलिज्म में knowing is the recall of latent ideas. So उनके मुताबिक जो आइडियलिज्म है वो ये है कि आपका इल्म वो है जो आप पुराने इल्म को दोबारा रिकॉल करते हैं. तो आपके पास एक इल्म है, पड़ा हुआ है, आप उसको दोबारा रिकॉल करते हैं. Recalling your already existing knowledge. Axiology in idealism will be values are universal, absolute and eternal. So axiology जो है उसमें ये कहेगी कि आपके values जो हैं they are eternal and absolute, they are not changing जिस तरह के बाकियों में change होता है. Educational implication, subject matter curriculum emphasizes the cultural great and enduring ideas. Education implication उनकी ये है जो कि idealism की, कि subject matter जो curriculum है या subject matter जो हम पढ़ाते हैं क्लास में, वो emphasize करता है, वो जोर देता है अपनी cultural values पे और ideas पे. ठीक है. इसके प्रोपोनेंट जो है, इसके बोलने वाले या इसके जो पैरोकार थे या कहते थे कि इसको ऐसा तालीम को ऐसा होना चाहिए, वो ये लोग थे. एमर्सन, फ्राइबल, हेगल, प्लेटो, आपने नाम सुने होंगे कुछ, लेकिन ये कुछ ऐसे शख्सियात थी जिनने इस किस्म की तालीम का प्रचार किया. तो इस किस्म की तालीम का जो ताल्लुक है वो आइडियलिज्म से. सो वी आर ट्राइंग टू मेक द कनेक्शन बिटवीन दिस and this one, right? Because the question is, why are we studying this? Why are we studying philosophies of education in terms of metaphysics, epistemology, axiology, right? ये philosophical चीजें, हम इसको पढ़ क्यों रहे हैं? इसका मकसद ये है कि जब आपको philosophy पता होती है, आप उसको education में implement कर सकते हैं. So you will understand the implication, which means how to apply and what are the fruits of your theory. So theory को practice में डालना जो है वो इसकी implication कहलाती है. And similarly is the case with the rest of them. Like realism is an objective and existing independently of us, but we can know it. Realism हम क्या कहते हैं कि जो reality है, it is outside of us and it doesn't change with our thinking. Right? So metaphysical questions का कहेंगे कि ये change नहीं होती, they are the same. Epistemology, according to realism, will be knowing consists of conceptualizing based on sensation abstraction. So your knowing is the ability to conceptualize, to have an idea of something which is abstract, जो कि मौजूद नहीं है, जो कि physically मौजूद ना है, उसके बारे में. For example, we know about the realities of universe. We know that there are stars and universe outside of our domain. We cannot reach them, but they exist. So this is our reality. This is what we understand. Axiologically, values are absolute and eternal based on universal natural law. So axiology के मुताबिक भी इन दोनों में कोई खास फर्क नहीं है आइडियलिज्म और रियलिज्म में, लेकिन आइडियलिज्म का स्पिरिचुअल एस्पेक्ट है और रियलिज्म का है जो वो हार्ड साइंसेस या अपनी रियलिटी जो आपके इर्द गिर्द होती है उसको समझ के आप उसको जानने की कोशिश करते हैं. So values are absolute, but they are based on natural laws, not on spiritual or some other kind of laws. So again, the question of how does this one, realism, affect our education? A subject matter, which is curriculum, emphasizes humanistic and scientific discipline. So any realistic curriculum will be focusing on science, on humanistic science and disciplines and things that matter to us. Instruction is based on problems. They believe that it should be based on the real principles, not the abstraction of spiritual realities. So in pragmatism, it rejects metaphysics, asserting that beliefs about reality are based on experience, the interaction with the environment, and are constantly changing. So this is the biggest difference from these two. Pragmatism, जो कि अमलियात की बात करते हैं, जो कि अमली चीज़ों की बात करते हैं, वो इस पे यकीन रखते हैं कि मेटाफिजिक्स या जो आपकी जो रियलिटी है, और ये यकीन रखना कि कोई रियलिटी आपकी है पहले से एक मौजूद है, इसका आपका एक मकसद है, आप क्या हैं, वो फजूल है, वो उसकी कोई इफादियत नहीं है. वो सारी चीज़ें कॉन्स्टेंटली हमारे हिसाब से चेंज होती रहती है. हमारी लाइफ हमारे हिसाब से चलती है और हमारे साथ चेंज होती रहती है. हम क्या सोचते हैं, हमारे साथ क्या गुजरती है, it changes with time. So this one is kind of, these two are different. This one is completely different from these two. So for them, knowing is the result of experiencing. So if you know something, it is because you've experienced it. If you haven't known them, you have to use scientific method, but still it should be your own experience और किसी और की बातें नहीं होनी चाहिए कि भाई किसी ने कहा है तो ये होगा, ये सही होगा. ठीक होना गलत होना, you have to find it out yourself. उनकी value system are situational relative. Absolute नहीं है. There are no fixed value system for pragmatists. तो उनकी instruction भी जो है it's based on problem solving according to scientific method. Scientific discipline here, scientific methods here. And these are some of the people who believed about that. So quickly talking about the last two, existentialism means you exist. आप exist करते हैं तो आपकी philosophy जो है उसी से exist जो है वो exist करेगी उसकी बुनियाद पे. Discounts metaphysics, arguing that reality is subjective with existence preceding essence. So there are two important things: essence and existence. Essence means jad, the core, the root, and existence means the body. If you are, for example, some people say that the soul came first. रूह पहले आती है, उसके बाद आपको जिस्म मिलता है. You have a soul, you then get a body. But for other people, for example, existentialists, they believe that existence is very important. The body is important than the soul. So you have a body, that's why your soul is there. Otherwise, you won't be able to survive. So for them, their knowing, like the epistemological question will be, comes from make personal choices. So they make personal choices, and that's how they know. It's something close to pragmatism, but they are more radical. They're more to the side. Values are to be freely chosen by persons. They are free thinkers. They think that we have to be very open and creative and very, without systems, without rules. So how does existentialism is seen in the classroom or education system? classroom dialogue stimulate awareness that each person creates a self-concept through significant choices. अच्छा, क्लास में जो dialogues होते हैं, आपकी जो बातें होती हैं, it should be based on having the awareness, or the classroom discussion is geared towards, or it's based on discussion in the classroom, so that everybody has a chance to talk about his or her personal opinions, right? And that's how they make concepts. So it's very individualistic kind of class for them, and we do use that technique in the class when we have a discussion, when everybody comes up with their own opinion, right? And the last one is postmodernism, which is after modernism. So post means after, and modernism means jiddat, jadidiyat. So there's a special time in history where, like after 70s, before 70s, the age was called modern age. After 1970s and 80s, it was called postmodernism, because there were some scholars like Foucault, Derrida, who talked about, the end of modernism. Or modernism में क्या था? ये था कि भाई, they do not believe in metaphysics as historical construction used for socio-economic domination. So postmodernists reject the idea that metaphysics or ontology is a historical construction. Historical construction का मतलब ये है कि हिस्ट्री की पैदावार, इसमें से कोई नेचर का हिस्सा नहीं है. So they reject that metaphysical question. They deconstruct. Deconstruct means तोड़ना, break it down. Text, alfaz. Canons means principles of text, to find their origin and use by dominant groups and classes. Right, so they are deconstructing text, postmodernist, and they emphasize the value of marginalized person and group. So postmodernists talk about how marginalized people can be brought into the fold. How can they be the part of the broader discussion? Marginalized लोग वो होते हैं जो कि आपके माशरे के धुतकारे हुए लोग आप कह सकते हैं, जिनको हिस्सा नहीं मिलता, जिनको आवाज़ नहीं मिलती, जिनको शख्सियत नहीं मिलती, जिनको नाम नहीं मिलता. All of them, they are the marginalized people. So in by marginalized I mean poor people, transgender people, people of maybe darker skin, or people of certain areas in your country, or people of certain religion, or people of certain sect, people of certain areas. They are not considered as equal human beings by some of us, and that's how they should be brought into that human level. So that's an important part of postmodernism, and also critical theory, which we don't have it in the list, but it talks about the same. So what is the outcome of postmodernism in schools? Schools are sites of democratic criticism and social changes to empower dominant groups. So school में क्या होता है? School में आप ऐसी discussion को जन्म देते हैं, ऐसी discussion को फरोग देते हैं, जिसकी वजह से वो लोग जो कि माशरे का हिस्सा नहीं है, वो अपने आप को माशरे का हिस्सा समझे. So the example is, for example, you have a person sitting next to you who belongs to a very different background than yours. Your father is a doctor, your father is a lawyer, and his or her father is driving a cab, a taxi driver. और आपको पहली दफा किसी टैक्सी ड्राइवर के बेटे या बेटी से बात करने का मौका मिला, and that changes your mind, and you try to consider them as human beings and equal human beings, or somebody is Christian, or somebody is of a different religion, or different nationality, and you have a discussion with them, and you have their presence in your circles. So that's how your school become democratic. So if you believe in this will happen. If you believe in this one, this will happen, or this should happen. If you believe in this is happening. So all these have relationship with all the others. Okay, there's these ones. So this is what we try to understand in today's class.